Welcome everyone to another episode of Elbows Tight Podcast. It's your host Travis and John. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Not bad. It's a beautiful sunny day outside, man.
Best I felt in 2 weeks.
How you feeling?
Better. Been
Yeah.
sick. Got hit with the not coronavirus.
The Budweiser virus. Is that what?
But I do have a funny coronavirus story I could share.
Let's hear it.
So we had a guy at work yesterday come in. I won't give any names or whatever, but he's sitting at the counter talking to us, and he's like, yeah, I foster kids, and, luckily one of the people got on the last flight out of China before they canceled all the flights, and, we tried to tell him to stay away, at least for 14 days, but he was coming over anyway. So then we're all in the office, and we're like, so what you're saying is you could have been exposed to the coronavirus, and now you're bringing it here where we could all be exposed to it?
Oh, my gosh. I think I know who you're talking about.
Then Brittany went off on him.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, whew. Yeah.
Like the coronavirus is just like another strand of like the flu. I think what they said, right?
It's like a common cold, but just like a twist to it.
Yeah, which is messing people up because it's like so easy to spread and whatnot.
Well, luckily we got a pretty robust healthcare system, so I think we won't see near the kind of drama that's going on in other countries.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it sucks to say it, but like fortunately for us, it hit somewhere else first to where now we can react and be a little bit more proactive. You know what I mean? But if someone comes in on the mat and they're coughing and sneezing,
wait, are you talking about me or what?
I mean, just maybe, John. No,
bro.
No.
I read about North Korea right now and how they're dealing with the coronavirus. Like, if you didn't know, even though they're so close to China, I'm pretty sure they share a border. They don't have one single case, which is amazing.
Because they execute all of them that are.
Yes, they are they got
murdering people.
They have reports coming out like what guy had it and he went to like the sauna or whatever, and they're just like, okay, you're dead. And I was like, man, I guess that's one way to treat it.
They're like, oh man, you have a fever right now?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, we'll get the doctor for you.
Yeah.
It's a military guy comes in just.
I was like, man, that's some rough stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's our area is a quarantine area for Washington State now.
Where we work. Yeah, they decided they can bring some people on over. I hope they don't.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? They're like, hey guys, so we're gonna go have to shut the base down for a couple days because we got to bring in about 100 people with the coronavirus.
So just pause and think about this for a second. Is this not like a science fiction book right now? You have several cruise ships full of infected people.
That's true.
All right, and they're talking about putting them on military bases.
That's true.
And I'm like, this feels like I'm reading a science fiction novel right now.
Well, I'm very illiterate, so I wouldn't know that. But
well, I mean,
I can see the correlation now.
Most of your like apocalypse books, that's how they start off.
It's like an infection,
some crazy infection, and people are stuck on ships, and then they're putting them on bases. And I was like,
remember when people started smoking bath salts, and then they thought it was the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that guy in Florida,
eating the face. The video of you just see the guy just on the ground.
That was rough.
That was crazy to see. Yeah, no, if they do start bringing people in our area for quarantine, I think I might just take a little bit of leave. Just
for sure.
Not going to work a couple days. You know,
couldn't make it today. Sorry.
So now that we got all that out of the way, talking about how John might have the coronavirus and how we're sitting in a small room right now in our podcast room over at John's house, a.k.a. his downstairs.
It's a large room.
It's a large room. And we were recording. I might try to figure out how to put a little snippet out of what we were just talking about. But for people that won't hear it, we have our new extremely high-end podcast table.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's so think about like, I'm going to say about 80, 90-year-old grandma that you go over to their house.
I hope she doesn't listen to that. You are not 80 or 90 years old.
No. What I'm saying is like an idea of what it is, right? And she just has an eclectic collection of memorabilia and, let's say, porcelain dolls. And you look at her kitchen table and you just imagine what it looks like, right? We got the four legs on it. Yep. This thing is, I don't even know what green this would be. Would it be like an olive green?
It's like a pastel, when I look at it, I think Easter eggs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so it's like an Easter egg green.
Yeah. Round
table, and with 4 chairs. 2 of them have armrests that look kind of Victorian age with with that paint that when it dries it cracks to show like patina and age. We'll post a picture along with the beverage of the day of what our new podcast table looks like.
I honestly don't even think Joe Rogan has anything as fine as this
I don't
table.
either. I think this is probably top of the notch, literally top of the line.
Easily.
Can't get any better. Even if you make a custom table, you won't get as much personality as there is.
Agreed.
Hey, but no, all jokes aside, it's actually a really nice table, and we're gonna paint it, and then we're gonna do some like drilling, and that way we can run cables through it and make it like legit, so we don't have this big cable mess on top of the table like we always do. Mount the things underneath, that way people can just plug straight into and whatnot, make it a whole lot easier.
Well, our budget of $0, I think we're doing great.
I don't know, man. We're making a lot of money from this podcast right now. I'm totally joking. We don't make any money from the podcast. But if you guys want to donate, you can donate via just giving us money in person. If you think we could get something new, by all means, just be like, hey, Travis, hey, John, here goes some money to go buy yourself a better table. I think for the new house, because we're going to have the office / media room / podcast room, I actually want to go buy a piece of wood and build an actual podcast table too.
It's nice to have those skills. I don't have them, but
go
for it.
Yeah, you could barely read a tape measure, if at all.
I cannot. I have a laser tape measure I use. You just point at the wall, hit the button.
Dude,
and
those
it tells
things are
you the
so
distance.
legit. I have one too, but the new house is going to be done next month. So then we'll start moving everything in and start making plans for the office and how we can optimize it to make it better. So, but before we go any further, John, what do we have for the beverage of the day today? We have two of them.
Well, I'll talk about what I'm drinking, and then you can talk about what you're drinking. I got a Two-Town Cider House Bright Cider. I really like it. It's
delicious.
It's not very sugary at all. I think they call them a dry cider. It's pretty good. I like it. It's a lot lighter than the beer, so I'm digging it.
Yeah, I had that one earlier. I had one upstairs, and it was actually really smooth. It actually isn't that harsh. This is a 6%. Made with Newtown Pippins. What are Newtown? Is that a peach or something? Oh no, it's an apple cider. Blame my last. Oh my gosh. Only fresh pressed Northwest apples. Oh, so it's a local area. You can find us online. If you guys want to check them out, visit us online at twotownsciderhouse.com. Once again, that's twotownsciderhouse.com. I've drank a couple of their ciders, and all of them are very, very good. The only thing is like, I don't know. This one has, it's kind of, if you like it, John, that's you, but it tastes good, but it's a little bland.
What?
Like I don't think it has a whole lot of flavor, but maybe because I'm drinking an IPA right now. So
have you been to Finn Hill Cidery yet?
Where's that?
It's probably about an hour from here across the Hood Canal Bridge. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone's local and you haven't been there. It is amazing. So you've probably seen Finn Hill Cider. They sell it in all the stores and whatnot. You can go there. It's a big outdoor area. Tons of different ciders, jalapeno ciders. You can get like sampler dishes.
Sounds pretty good.
Oh, it's fantastic. And they also have an old Navy buoy that they turned into a pizza oven. So they do flat, thin crust pizzas at about 600 degrees. Oh, real quick, delicious.
I think I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, they have like outdoor bocce ball. They got some badminton stuff, volleyball. You can they do weddings out there. It's beautiful. It's real nice.
Oh, there we go. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I haven't traveled too much. I've been to, what was the brewery? Deschutes Brewery?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
That's over by Maryhill State Park, right? Over in Oregon?
Yeah. Yep. And then what was the other one that we went to in Bend, Oregon? They have one in Bend, Oregon. I forgot. I think it's Deschutes also. They have one in Portland and one in Bend. And I've been to both of them. And that's probably one of my favorite places to eat and drink also.
What you might not have known is right by that brewery, probably maybe 5 miles away, they have an exact replica of Stonehenge. That's at the Maryhill State Park. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
For each of the monuments, because it's a small town right there, they took soldiers that died in the wars, and they like pretty much put plaques on each of the Stonehenge replicas out there to honor them. It's pretty neat.
And that's U.S. soldiers? Or?
Yeah, U.S., yeah. It's the people that died from that specific town.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
it's not cool that they died, but That's a pretty cool memorial for them.
Yeah,
That's
we go
nice.
we go camp there because you can actually go right into the river right there. So we bring our paddle boards and everything. It's pretty nice.
Bro, I am so excited to go paddleboarding, especially because we live on a lake. So it's like, well, now that we have such easy access to lake, buying like a canoe or a paddleboard, or you can fish in that lake, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you do not put the bass back in. They want you to kill the bass.
Are they overpopulating or something?
Well, that's a salmon run, right? So they don't want any of that other stuff in there.
Oh.
It's like a non-native fish that somehow got in there. So anything you get like that, you just get rid of. And I fish there all the time, and it's interesting because you'll be fishing and you can watch the eagles come down and try to steal your fish. So it's nice.
What?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. We saw the video of the octopus eating or trying to eat an eagle, and then that guy rescuing the eagle.
I bet that eagle was like, man, what? I thought I was the top of the chain.
What
is going on?
He tried to fly away. The octopus was like, thank you so much.
I wonder if that's kind of like how white belts feel, right?
In Spider Guard.
Yeah. Or, it's probably more like a blue belt, right? And they're like, hey, I got this. And then some black belt scoops them up and they're like, oh, shit, what did I just get into?
I'm getting my ass kicked. Someone come save me. It's kind of like, I am like, so the way that eagle looked, like extreme desperation, I always talk about, like, that was the expression on your face when you're getting mauled by that bear that one time.
But I survived that. So,
you did survive that. And that eagle survived thanks to someone else. Yeah. You survived no thanks to me.
That's true. and now, they have tag team jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing now.
Yeah. Don't they have an event coming up soon?
Wait. But if you backtrack it, remember I said that when I was getting mauled. Like, why couldn't I tag you in?
Oh, yeah,
remember?
That's right.
So
I
was actually in front of this game.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You're an innovator.
I had that thought
Someone
before.
listened to our podcast.
Yep.
And then
because I was like, you were right there. If I could have just tagged you, then you could have jumped in and I would have been safe.
Bro, we need to go after them.
Yep.
Intellectual, what is that called? Intellectual property theft?
Yep. So I think I actually had that thought first.
I mean, probably.
And people say that you come up with these things out of need, and I needed it then. At that
you did
moment.
need a
so
tag
in.
I
had it.
You definitely needed a tag. The look of desperation on your face is just like, if you guys haven't seen that video of the eagle getting eaten by an octopus, it's pretty crazy to see because the eagle is literally just completely wrapped up by this octopus, and it definitely reminds me of like someone has a good squid guard or like worm guard, like Austin. When they just like grab your lapel or your collars or sleeves and you're completely wrapped up. You have no idea what to do. That's what it reminds me of. But the second beverage of the day that we have, now that that entire rant was about nothing that had to do with your beverage of the day.
It's been a while since we talked on the podcast.
Yeah, no, sorry about that. And we'll go into that later. But what I have is the Log Yard IPA. And this is a 6.7.
Wow. How's it taste?
It is definitely an IPA. I'll tell you that. It's a so normally we get IPAs that are a little bit smoother. This one is so the description says you find notes of pine, pineapple, and grapefruit. Log Yard is an extra dry hopped for a brilliant floral aroma.
You say grapefruit?
Grapefruit. Yeah. I don't taste the grapefruit.
Oh, thank God.
But I do taste it is very hoppy. And I'm not a big fan of hoppy IPAs. This one's not bad actually. It's not bad. It is if I'll put it this way. If you don't I can kind of hear them, but I don't think they're getting picked up in the podcast. Are they getting murdered upstairs? What is going on? But to describe what this beer tastes like, if you were thinking about trying IPAs for the first time, do not drink this IPA because you will not like IPAs after this one. It is very hoppy, but it's pretty good. It is brewed in Carson, Washington. So once again, a local beer.
God, he's had one.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's a very nice IPA. Especially if you like IPAs, if you really like the hoppiness. The can's pretty cool, too. It's like kind of like a Pacific Northwest themed can. It's got like trees on it and pine trees and kind of the same stuff that everyone gets tattooed on them. Like, look, I'm from the PNW.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, pretty good.
I don't think Mike's going to like you saying that.
What? Why would he? No. I don't even think Mike listens to the podcast. Does he listen to the podcast?
We'll find out.
I know, because he'll come in. He's like, you making fun of my pine tree tattoos. Then he'll choke me out.
Maybe. He's doing the in-house tournament we got coming up.
He is. Yeah. I don't even know if I'm gonna go watch. No offense to the school or anything like that, but if I'm free, I'll go. But if I'm not, then obviously I'm not gonna be there.
Well, it's a Saturday, I think, right?
Next Saturday.
Yeah, we normally work Saturday, so.
Yeah. What is it that is going on next Saturday? Oh, I think Lord Dole told me to work because we have the guy coming out for the HVAC for the new house to get another quote for the house.
Yeah,
but
you
so
better work for that.
I might, yeah, right. I didn't realize how expensive it. Hey, if there's anyone out there that does AC&R or HVAC stuff that can hook it up with the house installation for a new house, hit me up on the DMs on Instagram. Just throwing out that Travis at ETP. Because it is not cheap getting brand new HVAC. The guy quoted us like $8,000, and I was like, I don't know. We might have to just get some space heaters on that. And it's pretty much, we're to the point now where it's like cost versus benefit. Like the benefit, there's unless it's like $100,000, there's no cost that outweighs the benefit of having a heat pump, especially up here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pay for it, I definitely will get it.
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Well, I will be there watching because Drew, my daughter, the 7-year-old, is competing.
Oh.
So I'm going to go. I'm not going to compete myself. We got Revolution coming up.
Yep.
And
that opens up tomorrow, right?
Yep. And that tournament is in March. And I swear I'm still feeling the one from November. So I don't want to do two that close together.
Yeah.
So I'm not, but I'm going to go watch and hopefully have some fun. See what I see.
It's going to be cool, especially because it looks like everyone that's competing so far are newer white belts.
Well, no. We got Mike. We got Will.
Okay, so two. So like,
yeah.
But the other ones, I think Mike and Will are the only really experienced guys that signed up for it. And I feel like in our class, in our school, either you're kind of like a 1 or 2 stripe white belt, or you're a 4 stripe white belt.
You're like
what I mean?
4, like ready for the blue.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like there's not very much in between. Maybe they can feel each other, like their experience levels a little bit more. But to me, I feel like either people are a 1 or 2 stripe, or they're a senior 4 stripe white belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like now. So it'll be interesting to see how Mike and Will do against the newer guys, because hey, anyone can get caught, man. And Keegan, that guy's a killer.
Keegan is. I love rolling with Keegan. Keegan and Will are kind of like my favorites right now.
Yeah,
Will
same.
because he's he's a tough physical challenge.
Dude, he's so strong.
Yeah, he's strong.
Does not
he's
get
young.
tired.
Like you can tell nothing's bothering Will.
He's does not get tired. I'm like, Will, calm down. Like,
yeah, he's a good challenge that way.
Yeah.
And Keegan is just it's almost like his body's built for it. Like
dude,
he's
100%. I cannot agree with that statement.
Yeah,
more.
he's long and he's
slender.
I feel
flexible.
I feel like I'm a moth and he's a spider and he's just wrapping me up. You know what I mean? And he hasn't been doing this very long at all. But it's just like he is just built for it. And I'm like,
it's perfect for him, man. And I found what I've been really working on lately, especially because of Keegan and Austin and a couple other guys in our school, is I've been really working on just like soul crushing pressure even more now. Not really soul crushing, but kind of like just neutralizing people with pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially with like someone like Keegan who always gets like a foot in the way. What I've really been working on is like once I clear the legs, like just kind of putting everything I can on them, like pressure wise, and then slowly just transitioning to where it's how do I say it? It kind of just sucks for them. Like I don't want to sound like a jerk or big headed. You know what I mean?
What I kind of feel like you're saying is like we tend to go lighter with them.
Yeah.
When I say lighter, I mean we're not
going 150% on them.
Yeah, we're like letting them explore.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of playing around. And I think just lately we're like, all right, let's let them see what it really feels like.
Yeah. I agree with that too, because I was talking to a professor, and because I'm kind of going back and forth about doing Revolution, and so I was like, well, if I'm going to do Revolution, I really need to step my game up and actually start attacking people again, because otherwise I don't want to get into the competition and then have me so used to kind of playing possum and not being able to attack.
Yeah,
so
man, real quick, you're gonna learn that ain't working.
right. So lately, I've just been attacking a little bit more, but I've stepped up my game, like my intensity, just a little bit more on people, just to make sure that I still got it and whatnot. And I've been getting compliments on my pressure and making sure people, pay attention to what's going on in the role. And I watched a video of Keenan Cornelius talking about when you're going against someone that's flexible and they go inverted and how to kind of deal with that. And I've been using that a lot lately. One thing he talks about is when they go inverted, kind of just neutralizing their hips when they go inverted, because then they have nothing, right? So Austin, he just went in. We just rolled yesterday. Well, I was loud. And he went inverted on me. And so what I did is I trapped one of his legs while he was inverted, right? So hips over his head. I trapped one of his legs between mine. And then I was trying to shoot for an underhook on the opposite leg. And I grabbed his pants to kind of keep him inverted, to kind of just like stack him so he couldn't move. And he's just so flexible, man. Like his foot was in front of me the entire time. But when I was doing that, I was shoving my head into his belly button area to kind of keep pressure on him so he couldn't move. And Keenan Cornelius talks about, like, you get the underhook, you grab their waist or whatever, and then you long step to pass their leg that you had trapped, and then you can end up straight into side control when you put them on their back. But I just got to practice it more.
Yeah.
But I've been using a lot of pressure on people, and, dude, I love it. I love putting pressure on people.
Well, I hope that open mat on Friday becomes like a standard thing.
Yes.
Because, I feel like that's kind of what we're missing a little bit. We need that time to just get in there and just spend like a good hour exploring and trying some stuff out, So I hope that comes around, because if it does, then you can really spend that time just working on your game.
Yeah, and I feel like I think it was Nate talked about it. He's like, I feel like I learn a lot when we do open mats. Like, I completely agree, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And lately, I've been trying to experiment with stuff too, in a sense of trying to take that big long back step into positions and kind of Granby roll into or Barambolo into back takes and all that kind of stuff, and just experiments and getting myself in bad positions to see how to get out of it. So it's been a lot of fun lately. I was, it's like everyone, you kind of go in the highs and lows, and I think I'm on a high right now.
I think I'm on the low right now, but I know you just got to stay the course.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get right back into it.
Yeah, I also started, if anyone's out there interested in like strength and conditioning training, there's multiple people out there. One of ours is, one that we have is Cody Smith. You can find him at Coach Cody Smith on Instagram. He offers online coaching and nutrition and stuff like that. He also does a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu strength and conditioning training, and our buddy Derek, who's been on the podcast twice, he does it. I haven't talked to him about how he likes it or not, but one thing you can do too is what I do is I go through Chad Wesley Smith. He is a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He owns Juggernaut Strength and Conditioning, which is they partner with like RP Strength, which is a programming and nutrition. So there's other gateways if you're looking for more things there, but I do his strength and conditioning programming right now. It's really good.
You filled out a questionnaire when you did that, right?
Yeah.
Does it take into like age and things like that?
It takes into age.
So if like me and you did level. It, and then it'll tailor the workout more towards that?
Yeah, so it takes in some of the questions that it asked was age, sex, activity level, how many times a week you work out kind of thing. Belt level, experience of exercising. Mm-hmm. So if you have like 5+ years of exercising experience, how long your matches are, right? So it's all tailored around like jiu-jitsu and the world of jiu-jitsu. And then also it's an AI, so whatever information you give it, it automatically adjusts to your information. So every week when it gives you your numbers, it's based on the previous week automatically. And then you send in, every 4 weeks, you send in your update to real people, and they review it and see what's working, what's not working, and whatnot. So it's really cool. I enjoy it. It's only for your first 4 weeks, it's $1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. And then
how do you not want to try it then, right?
right. And then there's like a Facebook page that you can go read on and everything like that too. So, but also after those first 4 weeks, it's only $15 a month. So, which isn't bad. I mean, it's strength and conditioning training. It's not super personalized. It's all kind of template based. But if you're just looking for something and you don't want like to pay top dollar, it's pretty good.
Does it ask how free you are to go work out? Like, does it say can you go 2 times a week or can you go
it
3
asks
times a
you
week, or?
activity level.
Okay.
So how many times of the week you go to the gym? So I put in 3 times a week. I can go to the gym outside of jiu-jitsu. So that would give me, at the gym 6 days a week. But last week I was kind of slacking because Lauderdale was in Florida. So
when you had all that extra free time,
when I did not have a lot of extra free time. I had less time to do anything. So because it was like I would be at practice, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stay for open mat, and I'm like, I can't stay for open mat because no one's at home making dinner or getting things ready for us or taking care of the back end of things. So I was like, well, looks like I'm gonna do 1 or 2 rolls and I got to dip out. Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's how I feel too. My wife switched her schedule to 4:10s, and we have a new puppy. So it's like, man, what do I do with this?
Yeah, Finnegan, bro, you got to bring him to jiu-jitsu.
Well, I brought him one time, but I think it was a distraction. So I ended up standing outside for like that hour and a half, and I was like, this sucks.
Oh, because he was like all over the place.
No, but the kids, kids see a puppy, and they're like, I didn't want to distract the class. So I just stood outside, and I was like, man.
Who doesn't love puppies? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I'd go inside because I was freezing, and then I'd go right back outside, and I was like, I got to think of something else for this.
Yeah. You switching anything up for this revolution?
I don't know. We had we spent about 2 weeks I think learning toe holds and knee bars.
Yeah,
and
stuff is so fun.
I really enjoyed that. The downer is you can't from what I hear is you can't really do that at a blue belt level.
No, brown belt and above pretty much.
So I don't know. I've got mixed feelings on it. I enjoyed learning it. Really, I enjoyed the toe hold because I feel like that was kind of like the wrist lock of the feet, and I was like, man, I'm all about them wrist locks. But it's like I don't know how much of it I'm going to retain if we can't really practice it. So, So I don't know. I'm probably just going to let that go and just keep focusing on what we know. But I enjoyed that. But I think for Revolution, last time I did it, I couldn't do wrist locks. This time I can. I think that'll help me out a lot. I was thinking about it this morning if I should do that heavy weight again or if I should stick or go do the 181. So I was like, I don't know. So I feel like I held up fine strength-wise with the bigger boys last time. But maybe I'd have an easier time if I went to 181. So, I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, that's a interesting thing is the wrist lock stuff, right? Like now it's just something else. Like I don't know how many blue belts actually practice wrist lock defense, let alone wrist locks. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I know everyone in our class now knows that they know when they're rolling with me. Like, you gotta watch wrist locks.
Yeah, John just recently got a patch from one of our buddies that said wrist locking. What is it? Wrist locking?
It's like man, I can't remember the terminology. It's like a wrist locking group, like wrist locking league.
Yeah. So, because John's known for his wrist locks. What's funny is I attack wrist locks too, and people know me for a little bit of wrist locks, not nearly as much as John. But I was rolling with Cody Smith, like I was talking about earlier. I was rolling with him yesterday, and he attacked a wrist lock on me. And I was like, no, you're not doing that on me, man. He's like, the only people I try wrist locks on are you and John because you guys always attack wrist locks.
I didn't tell you, but I rolled with him a week and a half ago. And he was like, you and Travis in these wrist locks.
Dude, I love wrist locks, man. Like I kind of just threaten them now. I don't really finish them because most people that I threaten them on, a wrist lock is something that you kind of have to put on fast and quick.
Yep.
Otherwise, they can kind of weasel their way out of it.
Yep.
Unless you have 100% control, like Professor always talks about. And so a lot of times I don't really attack wrist locks. I kind of threaten them to make them think about it and go to something else. But Cody, man, he put it on me real quick, and he's like, I forgot what I was doing. I think I had my hand up blocking, and then he just grabbed the elbow and like cranked on he didn't crank on it, but pressure the wrist, and I somehow got my elbow out and got out of it before he could put too much on it. And we both just started laughing. He's like, I only do that on you and John. I was like, well, thank God, man, because that would have been a good one if I would have fought it because it was quick.
I feel like it's a good equalizer. Like if it's I just feel like if you're in like a kind of a tough spot, like it's just a good way to get you some room. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden they're like, whoa, like, I gotta watch that.
I want to start doing more toe holds.
Me too.
I love toe holds. I love that whole knee bar.
Yeah, me too.
Heel hooks. I'm not a big fan of heel hooks. I don't know why. I just feel like everyone does them now. So it's. Well, I mean, Instagram, everyone on Instagram, all you see is heel hook this, heel hook
I
that.
actually have a tough time with the heel hooks because I feel like I'm real compacted. Like
compacted?
Yeah, like when you're,
like that word.
You're that close together, I feel like I don't have a lot of room and I'm not very flexible. So those are kind of tough for me.
I actually had a hard time hooking the heel. You know what I mean? Like when you're on your side, like maybe I'm just doing something wrong. Like if someone wants to at me on Instagram or one of us had Instagram and show us like an easier way to hook the heel, or maybe I should ask Professor. But I felt like every time I fell to my side, the heel was there and I really had to like reach over and hook the heel, and I didn't really necessarily fall into it every time like I wanted to. And maybe once it comes more with technique and time doing heel hooks, but at no point, unless I do like advanced or expert gi, what is it, like advanced gi, at no time am I going to use a heel hook. But knowing how to defend a heel hook is fine,
Agreed.
I enjoy watching videos of people no gi winning via anything but a heel hook. You know what I mean? Because I feel like heel hooks, people talk about like how jiu-jitsu goes through stages and what moves are high and low. And, for a while, Berimbolo was really high. Then people found out how to counter Berimbolo. Now, Berimbolo isn't as successful. Heel hooks kind of like that thing now where everyone's doing heel hooks because no one's mastered how to really counter heel hooks with anything else. So people get heel hooks left and right. So
I don't know if it's even that much, but I think it's because if somebody really gets you in it, you almost can't think instantly. You have to like be careful. Like, go the wrong way. Or, you're tearing your own shit.
Yeah. But man, that was a fun class. Those couple days were really fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Going into that knee bar, especially when you figure four, they're the opposite leg of the one you're trying to knee bar. Did you do that class?
Yes, yeah.
Bro, I felt so bad because it's so tight when you fall over. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. And it's literally just a slight pressure, and then boom, there goes the knee bar,
Well, I think I'm going to try to practice it in class after the rolls and just at least try to get in the right position.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I don't know if you remember, but in Japan, I got knee barred a lot when we had a guy drop into class.
Right, yeah.
And the way he did it, it was really, I still haven't figured it out. But I was standing and he was sitting, and he would just jump in really quick and knee bar me while I was standing.
Really?
I was like, and I had to tap like quick because I was like, I can't get out of this. And that one time I rolled into hybrid, I was getting knee barred a good bit. So I was like, it's pretty effective. I was like, man.
Yeah, when I went to hybrid that one time, I think I got knee barred by 2 black belts like 8 times.
Yeah.
And
that was before I'd ever even had a class on it. So I was like, man, it was
same. Yeah,
really effective. I didn't know what I was doing.
I didn't even know what was going on. All of a sudden, I felt pressure on my knee, and I was like, well, there goes a knee bar. I knew what a knee bar was, but I had never been knee barred before.
Well, the good thing
I
is
didn't experience it.
We knew enough to tap.
Like, yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, this. I don't know what's going on, but this sucks. I'm out.
Yeah, I enjoyed that class. Knee bars, I definitely want to work more on knee bars. I think they said 2-stripe and above blue belt in our schools able to do knee bars. I still have not had a single stripe, so I will not be working on them.
Well,
but entry, I will work in.
They did said as long as we agree, we can do it. So if your partner agrees with you to try it, you're good to go.
Yeah. One person I will not agree with is with Phil. He's already too good. I'm not going to get – well, maybe I should, because then I know he because I see him do entries all the time. I'm like, dang, Phil. I was like, okay, we got to get him on the podcast.
He's really mobile for a big guy.
We really need to get him on the podcast, too. Unfortunately, he just suffered an injury to his knee. I think what it was someone went for like an X-guard sweep, or they hooked one of his legs. They had a single leg on him, and it was on his shoulder. I believe that's what it was. Somehow, correct me if I'm wrong, but somehow he ended up heel hooking himself when he turned the wrong way, because they had his leg secured and his hip secured, and so when he went to move, it knee barred him and like popped his knee. So he has like a minor tear in his knee right now.
So he went and got it checked out.
Yeah, it's nothing major. They said give it about 6 weeks and he should be good. I was like 6 weeks.
6 weeks is pretty major in my book.
Yeah, but it's like non-intrusive.
Yeah.
So it's like just 6 weeks of, hey, rehab it and don't be rolling on it, so. But I don't know if I'm pretty sure he's not going to do Revolution now. I would like to get him on the podcast though. There's a couple people I want to get on the podcast.
I'm gonna make myself do it. I'm not really in the mood right now, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah,
and I don't know. We'll see how many more I do. I feel like there's got to be like a certain point where you're like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I do Revolution, this would be the one time I compete as a I go back and forth about it, man.
I feel kind of bad for you because you figure when I did it, I was 4-stripe white belt.
Yeah.
Right? Been doing it like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was okay for me.
Right.
So like I think the first guy I went up against had like 0-stripe white belt.
Right.
Like poor guy, right? This time going into it, blue belt, no stripe.
Yeah.
So think about the people I'm going up against.
Yeah, you could be going against pretty much, and like when you get into the colored belts, right? It's like a different story because some people consider it a purple belt is not considered a purple belt at another school, right?
Well, I just think about Logan whipping my ass.
Yeah,
right? Like, I'm like
that's what I'm saying. Like he was a blue belt, air quotes.
Yeah.
But he's definitely to me he's been a purple belt since I started rolling with him. Same with George.
Yeah.
Like George always was like, to me was like always a purple belt. Like there was no way.
Just imagine if we get some Georges and Logans.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what, and that's the difference, right? Is when, you really see it at like the higher end of white belt where you're like, well, this guy really isn't a white belt. He probably should have been a blue belt a while ago. You know what I mean? So, but the thing too is with blue belts, usually people are blue belts for quite a while. They say that's like your longest belt, right?
Yeah, so we'll be a few months in. We might be going up against some 4-year blue belt.
Yeah, exactly. There's one dude that's been doing it. Like he's like, oh man, I really should have my black belt by now. I've been a blue belt 15 years.
Anyway, I figured this time around, I'm probably going to get whipped, but I'm all right with that.
So. I don't think so.
I don't care. I'm fine with it.
I think you're going to do just as good as you did last time, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Lordell's kind of keeps telling me to do it because my mom's gonna be in town. She's gonna be here, and she's like, because we go on our honeymoon the next week, so we're going up to Whistler. Well, I mean, we could leave Saturday night and go up there or whatever, but Charles is competing on Sunday, so we'll probably leave Monday.
Well, that's great. I think you should do it for several reasons. One, we won't be in the same class, so good luck.
We can promote the podcast while we're there.
Yeah. I have not trained a bit for this one like last time. Last time I was really worried about my conditioning and trying to get into it, but I've been sick for weeks.
Like sick as a dog. This dude has like missed work.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving now just to go blow my nose every like 20 minutes. So I'm like, this is going to be a rough one.
Yeah, I think you're going to do fine though. You're pretty much like once you get to your age, there's kind of no.
About to hit that 42.
Dang, you got like a 3.5 minute roll, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
I know. Well, the nice thing though too is masters doesn't matter in jiu-jitsu because masters is like what 30 to 35.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. So it's you're still relatively young. So I'm 30 years old now. So I'll be in the masters division. Now if that actually
you're actually 30 to 39.
30 to 39?
Yeah, because you got to be 40 to hit executive.
Get out of here. So great. So I'm gonna. Well, I mean that's a huge age group, but luckily your 30s, in my eyes, you're still relatively young. So there's still man, people might be actually training for a longer time when they're in their 30s. Be more focused. Oh, this doesn't sound good to me. I don't know if I want to do this. Don't tell John. He walked away. He went to go blow his nose, but I'm probably not going to do it because I don't want to get my butt kicked. Being honest, I don't want to get my butt kicked, embarrassed, in front of everyone. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm probably about 80-20 right now. About doing it is the 80%, 20% not doing it. The thing I'm honestly worried about is if I do it, is getting injured before going on my honeymoon. Like, that's my biggest concern right now, is I don't want to get injured and then go on my honeymoon, because then I don't want to be, we want to go snowshoeing, we're going to go snowmobiling, zip lining, and I don't want to be on my honeymoon with like a bummed knee or a wrenched neck, not being able to fully enjoy my honeymoon. That's what I'm honestly concerned about. But Speaking of wrench neck, man, my neck is killing me right now.
Really?
Yeah, we did. Whenever we do like a guillotine class,
Did y'all just do one?
we did it on yesterday.
Man, that's so sad. I'm sad I missed this long. But what am I gonna do? Get in there and get everybody sick?
Dude, I've learned I am absolutely terrible at guillotine.
Really?
Not after yesterday's class, man. I finally
Oh,
figured out what
shit.
I did wrong, what I've been doing wrong, man.
What were
Because
you doing wrong?
So I would get the guillotine grip.
Did you not?
Yeah, no, not that. So what Professor was talking about was you get the guillotine grip, right? You can do the chin strap or head all arm through to like the blade, like a kind of like a wrist lock or ankle lock. But what I was doing wrong is I wasn't chucking up, bringing my elbow high, and then tightening up, right? And then bringing that elbow back in to take up all that space. Instead, I would get the guillotine grip and I would just tighten up. And so I would have a lot of space and never be able to finish. But after yesterday, learning that I need to chuck and then take up that space again to kind of really secure that head, bro, I'm like, well, let's see if it works. Anyone shoots in for a double leg, you getting choked, man. Let me tell you.
the Gracie University, they got a good class on that. When I watched that one, that's what helped me out a lot with that one.
The guillotine?
Yeah, that's
What
how
did
I
they
got.
talk about?
That's how I got close to Cody on that, but I couldn't quite get it.
Ooh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Yeah.
What did I say that he did? He ended up.
You yelled from the
Yeah.
sideline.
What did I yell?
Cody or Jughead? I was like, no, don't say anything. Yeah.
What did I yell that he ended up neutralizing?
Yeah, you said something, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but
Neither.
he neutralized it real quick, and I was like, I'm sorry.
I don't remember
I'm sorry, Doug."
watching that Gracie one. It was kind of the same thing. It was like you said, you grab it and you go out, and then you swing it up. Right?
Yeah.
it was like almost like grab your shoulder.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. You all right over there?
Oh, excuse me, man. Is this unfiltered? This beer, according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcohol. But yeah, no, it's not unfiltered. Ooh, excuse me.
So we also got San Diego coming up really soon.
Yep.
A couple months.
Yep, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see the schools down there, to experience the jiu-jitsu down there. It's going to be so nice, man.
I'm kind of nervous about the whole thing, to be honest. Well,
What?
Yeah, I mean, did you see Alan's picture, bro? He had 2 black eyes.
Bro,
that guy's legit.
Listen, Alan's a brown belt, first of all, which we need to get on the podcast also.
Ooh, man, if we can get him while we're down there, that'd be great.
Dude, fantastic. I don't care how far we would have to drive, what we would have to do. I would love to get Alan on the podcast.
We'll have to do that.
But first of all, like I was saying, is Alan is a brown belt. So what happens to brown belts is people go harder on brown belts.
Did you see his latest picture? He went to one in Chula Vista. He said where I came from. And
Where
was
I
like,
came
well,
from.
We're right next to Chula Vista. And then I was like, hold on. So
I'm about to look it up right now as you say it.
yeah.
Go
So
on.
me and Travis, like, we know our schools, right? But like, I don't know what the protocol is when you go to a new school. Are we like supposed to show up in our blue belts, or like, do you show up in a white belt? Like, how does that go? Or like, what if you don't meet the criteria of their blue belt? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm like.
So I'm like, so do I just show up and be like, hey, I'm here for class and I got my blue belt, or do you show up in a white belt? I have no idea how this works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you always show up in the belt that you were given, right? Because I mean, it's not like we're walking in as a black belt or a
Well,
brown
that's what
belt.
I was saying.
You know
So
what I
if I
mean?
showed
Like,
up in a
people-
white belt, would they say you're sandbagging? Like if you show up in a white belt and then I'll just, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see what
like,
you're saying.
you know what? Like you're some shit, but maybe you're not at their level. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that works.
No, I can see what you're saying, but I don't think that's. I think if you show up as a blue belt, a blue belt is such a vast variety of skill level. Like, I think you'd be good. Now, if you show up at like a purple belt or like a brown belt, and we ain't as good
Like,
as.
if I show up in a blue belt and they're like, let me see this Berimbolo, I'll be like, oh, I don't actually do that.
I actually don't know what that is.
You know what I'm saying? I actually don't do that one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that would be interesting.
I don't see the post.
I'll find it for you.
I just see like a shirtless picture of Alan.
I got you.
All right, bro, chill out. We get it. You're buff. Big swole guy.
He probably doesn't listen to this anyway.
He doesn't. He was a great teacher, though.
Mm-hmm.
Happy holidays. Yeah, I thought we were friends on Facebook. But no, if anywhere we go, I'm gonna be in my blue belt, But the like we always talk about, like I don't want people to show up in my blue belt and people think I'm trying to showboat or something, and then go a little bit harder on me or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Sorry, John.
You saw this one, right, at his Legion?
Yeah. I saw that one. I saw
like,
that
oh
one.
my
So
God.
if you guys aren't, obviously we don't have a video or anything like that, but it's our buddy, and he's got like a black eye. He's
like, he's legit. If he's getting black eyes,
he is very legit.
I'm getting murdered.
He had a training. He has a picture of him with like a black eye and like a kind of like a busted nose, and it was the caption like a training day at Legion. So Keenan Cornelius, if you're listening to this, no, Keenan's not gonna listen to this, but
bro, well, if you do, I can't afford you. I saw your price.
Please
look, come on, man, $325. We are working men.
listen.
If it makes you feel any better, and you by chance listen to this, we are working on like your security, man, like carriers and subs.
That's right, man.
Hook us
National
up.
security. What if he had like a dope like military discount where it's like $100 a month?
It would have to be extreme for I mean, if it's 100, I can do it, man. But I mean, we're working men here. Like
That's right.
That's a crazy price.
Right. I pay for jiu-jitsu now, and I'm like,
So if anybody knows him, maybe give him a shout out. Like, hey, can you cut these guys a discount?
Please at him so we could get a discount.
Because he ain't gonna listen to us.
Right. Dude, how dope would it be? We go down there and get
I
him.
looked at the pictures and I was like, man, that is an amazing facility.
It is a beautiful school. Holy crap, man. He has literally a warehouse. A warehouse.
I saw it. I was like, unbelievable.
He talks. I was watching a video, and that's where I got the pressure for when people go inverted. And he's like, all right, so we're going to be in this corner because the white belt class is about to start. And then you look over, and he's doing a no-gi class, and then, like, the people look tiny on the other side of the gym, and it's all white belt class. I'm like, well, one day we'll be there.
So when I saw it, I was thinking, well, for one, they must be single. They're either like this is their job, like they're trying to be supreme athletes.
Yeah,
so they're going
right.
to this place.
Yeah. Or it's the stigma, right? It's Keenan Cornelius, So
I was like, man, it would be nice. I don't know, maybe we can drop in, but I think even the drop in was like $60-$70. I was like,
ooh,
oh my god, because I think I told you,
Autos is that expensive too out there.
Yeah, and I'm on the fence. Like, it's a unique situation for us, right? We get to go down there. We got some time to focus on different things versus when we're here taking care of our families,
right.
and normal responsibilities. So I'm kind of at the we're blue belts. We've kind of got a good foundation jiu-jitsu wise.
Right.
I think we would be A-okay if we ended up on the ground in a normal street situation, right?
Right.
So now I'm kind of at the point where what if we don't end up on the ground, right? Like, so it all starts on your feet, right? So should I spend the next 6 months maybe taking boxing classes?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So you know what? I want to be well-rounded.
Right.
Same. I'm not going to be I'm not doing any MMA fights or anything like that.
Right. They don't have a geriatric MMA league, so don't worry.
So in my brain, I think to myself, if we're on the street, right? You know, imagine you're going to a concert or something like that, and you have an altercation. You're not gonna grab the guy and pull guard, right?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you could. It'd be awkward as shit, but you could.
Right.
So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should spend these 5 or 6 months and learn boxing, maybe judo, something
kickboxing.
Yeah. So where me and Travis are gonna be, which is Coronado. For one, traffic is a nightmare in California.
Absolutely terrible.
So what is available
Takes
to
one of
us
these batteries.
right there on the island is Muay Thai
Yeah, Muay Thai, baby.
and boxing. Those two things right there where we're staying. So I'm like, well, should we do one of those instead?
I'd be down to do some Muay Thai.
Like maybe that would be a better thing to help us round us out.
Yeah. I agree. My old we always talk about the reason we started this was self-defense, right?
Yep.
And people always talk about if you're doing jiu-jitsu for self-defense, take something else.
Yeah, that's what kind of where I'm leaning. So I'm like, well, maybe when I go down there, where I'm at right now is, at first I was like, I'll continue the jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know, maybe it would be better to do the boxing, and they got some hot yoga down there for some flexibility. Do those two things. I can still roll with you or whoever I know that does jiu-jitsu down there.
Yes.
And then come back to Washington 6 months later and resume what we were doing.
And we still have like online.
Yep.
curriculum we can do too.
Yep.
And just go to an open mat or something like that, or buy a couple cheap mats and do it, So.
And and I kind of think about Billy when I think about these things, right? Like Billy stepped away for a long time, and he comes back in. He steps away, he comes back in, right? So, maybe it's not such a bad thing to go pick up another skill, and then just jump back in.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's where I go back and forth with too, is because I really want to get into judo because I love throws. And one guy that we were trying to have on the podcast, name is Rob. And he's a black belt in judo, blue belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I would love to, just kind of learn some judo from him because obviously the only way you can get a black belt in correct me if I'm wrong, but the only way you can get a black belt in judo is through competing. So obviously he's competed up to his black belt. And judo to me, man, when we were in Japan and then with the classes that we took and the judo people that I met, man, judo is a beautiful art, bro. Great training tonight. Broken nose and all. Feels great to be at my Chula home.
Yeah, so
Chula Vista Jiu-Jitsu.
So
shout out to them.
Yeah, he put a link to it, the one he's going to in Chula Vista. I used to live there, by the way.
Me too.
So I'm like, man, that's right there.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, Chula Vista is nice. So I like enjoy Chula Vista. But that's the thing about San Diego. There's so many places to go, So, but
we shall see.
We shall see. So, but hey, you go then in there.
Well, on an other side note, Olivia decided she's going to just spend her summer break in San Diego with me.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah, so now that she's like, well, where will we do jiu-jitsu?
Little do you know.
Maybe I'll throw her in the Muay Thai.
There you go. Yeah, man. Get her in wrestling or something, man.
She doesn't want wrestling.
I know.
I've tried. I tried to talk her into it.
I was like, Olivia, are you sure you don't want to do wrestling? She's like, I don't want to do wrestling. I'm like, you sure you don't want to do wrestling? Because your takedown game would be ridiculous.
So since she's never going to listen to the podcast, we'll just say it. Her first boyfriend broke up with her. Can you believe it?
He was too intimidated.
Jasmine's son. His friend talked him into doing it because he said she was a little weird. Can you believe that?
No. How is Olivia weird?
Yeah, unique. People don't like unique.
That's right, because she can kick most little dudes' butts.
Yep.
She's weird. She does jiu-jitsu. She rolls around on the ground with other guys.
I was like, did you throat chop him as soon as he said it?
Jeez, man. Well, it ain't going to be the first, or it's
that's
the first, but it ain't going to be the last.
That's
so it's all right.
Yeah.
But, well, that's unfortunate. Well, we never got to meet the guy. Put a little bit. We're naked choking. I was upstairs rolling with Drew in the living room. She kept attacking me. That woman, that little girl, she would wrap around my leg and hold on to my hips. And I'm not even gonna lie to you. She has a strong. If that's her guard game, that is a strong guard game for a small girl. I was like, I cannot get her off of my leg. Get off of my leg.
At only 7.
And only 7. She's got. Well, hopefully she sticks with it so she can, continue to do what she's doing.
She's the one that likes the tournament, so she is going to be in the Ant House this weekend, and she's doing Revolution with me.
Yeah, Charles is probably not going to do the in-house, but he will be. Oh, maybe I should sign him up for the in-house.
Oh shit! Speaking of that, Rob, if you're listening to this, Iron Man Rob, we're trying to get on the show. I hope you're not in your 40s because I do not want to go up against you.
He's not.
Revolution.
He's not.
Oh, thanks.
He's a Masters.
Oh, whew.
Yeah.
So he's all yours.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know.
So we didn't even tell him. We're going to try to get him on the podcast, but Travis mentioned it earlier. He was a black belt in judo, no-gi MMA, right?
Yep. Well, I mean, he's an former MMA guy. You can find him on
all no-gi though, right?
Yeah, yep. I mean, MMA is not done in gi.
Yeah.
But you can find him on YouTube. Rob Can, 2 N's,
and I think he's Iron Man Can.
Yeah, Iron Man Can.
Yeah.
Yep. Rob Can on YouTube. You can find some of his fights here in the PNW local area. Real good guy.
But
when we get him on, he talks a million miles a minute, so it's gonna be interesting.
But he went no gi to gi, and he threw on a white belt.
Yep.
And I think within about 2 months, he got his blue belt.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Probably well deserved.
Obviously, he has years of experience.
They figured that out real quick.
Yeah.
And man went to a round robin in Oregon, and I think he beat 7 people. First tournament in the gi and got first place. And I was like, man, that's impressive.
Yeah. He's definitely super good. But that goes with the years of judo, right?
Yeah,
and like
for sure.
MMA, like it's not like he has zero grappling experience. He was talking. I don't want to go too deep in his story because I want him to tell it. But he was talking about how when he first started going to his school down in Tacoma, 253 in Tacoma, he put on a white belt and he asked his professor, like, "How do you want me to do this? Do you want me to be a white belt or do you want me to put a blue belt on? Because obviously I have a lot of experience with grappling and whatnot." They're like, well, just do a white belt for now because technically you are a white belt in formal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then he said he started doing classes and started whooping on people, teaching people. And they're like, how are you teaching me if you are a white belt? He's like, I'm the longest white belt you'll ever meet, because he did MMA for so long. So, but that's the next guy that we're gonna have on. He said he was being lazy this weekend, so he wasn't gonna come on the podcast.
We'll
we
see.
need to lock down more people, man.
Yeah.
Side
note,
if you guys have any suggestions on how we can be better, please let us know. So hey,
All
but
right,
on that note, thank you guys so much for listening. Wow, we almost went an hour.
Perfect.
By the time we get done, it would be an hour. But thank you guys so much for listening to us today. Sorry it's been so long. We've been super busy. Trust us, we feel the pain of not putting out content. Like, John and I constantly talk about putting out content. So
It's tough.
It is.
Full-time lives.
We have wife, kids, jobs. So we're just trying to put out as much content as possible and get as many people on here as possible. But once again, you guys can follow us on Instagram. Our Elbows Tight Podcast page is at Elbows Tight Pod. You can follow John and I, where our links are in the Elbows Tight Podcast page. I am at Travis ETP. John is JT something one another.
Probably crashed.
JT crashed. That's what it is in like 75 or some shit.
Long story there.
But if you guys want to follow us, please do that. Also, leave our Facebook page a like. Add us on Facebook, Elbows Tight on Facebook. We need to start stepping our game up on Instagram and whatnot too, but slowly but surely. I'm not a big social media guy. John's not a big social media guy.
I'm old.
Yeah, I just don't care. So. But hey guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Remember, keep those elbows tight. No oil checks here. Os.